Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's update on Tropical Storm Debby. So, Tropical Storm Debby has formed just northwest of Havana, Cuba, and as of 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time, or Eastern Daylight Time this evening, Tropical Storm Debby has maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour, gusts up to 50 miles per hour northwesterly movement, and a minimum central pressure of 1,007 millibars. Taking a look at our new cone for Tropical Storm Debby, Tropical Storm Debby has shifted more to the west since yesterday's update, and as we go into 1 a.m. tonight, looking at a 45 mile per hour tropical storm with 60 mile per hour gusts moving to the north-northwest. As we go into 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, looking at a 50 mile per hour tropical storm with 60 mile per hour gusts, 65 mile per hour gusts moving to the north. And then as we go into 1 a.m. on Monday morning, now we're looking at a 65 mile per hour tropical storm with 75 mile per hour gusts moving to the north-northeast, approaching the Big Bend of Florida, and we are now anticipating a landfall just southeast of Tallahassee, 1 p.m. Monday afternoon, as a 75 mile per hour Category 1 hurricane with 90 mile per hour gusts moving to the northeast. Moving inland, Debby's going to pass near Valdosta, Georgia, 1 a.m. Tuesday morning as a 45 mile per hour tropical storm with 60 mile per hour winds moving to the east-northeast. Going into 1 p.m. Tuesday afternoon, 40 mile per hour tropical storm with 50 mile per hour gusts moving to the east. And then going into 1 p.m. Wednesday afternoon, 45 mile per hour tropical storm with 60 mile per hour gusts moving back over the western Atlantic Ocean. And now we're looking at a second landfall between Savannah, Georgia, and Charleston, South Carolina, into 1 p.m. Thursday afternoon as a 60 mile per hour tropical storm with 70 mile per hour gusts moving to the north. So, as you notice, the track has significantly slowed over land from yesterday. So this means significant flooding is going to be likely from Tropical Storm Debby, unfortunately. We have tropical storm warnings still for Key West, tropical storm watches for the Central Florida Keys, tropical storm warnings from the Western Everglades through Naples, Cape Coral, Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton, and Tampa. And now we have storm surge warnings for the Big Bend of Florida from just north of Tampa through Apalachicola. And then we have hurricane warnings in the Big Bend of Florida, hurricane watches and tropical storm watches all the way up into south central Georgia near Valdosta. So taking a look at the key messages for Tropical Storm Debby, heavy rainfall will likely result in considerable flash and urban flooding across portions of Florida and the coastal areas of the southeast this weekend through Thursday. Significant river flooding is also expected. Hurricane conditions are expected on Monday along portions of the Florida Big Bend region, where a hurricane warning is in effect with tropical storm conditions beginning late Sunday. Tropical storm conditions are expected through Monday, further south within the tropical storm warning, along Florida's west coast, including the Tampa Bay area and the lower Florida Keys. There is a danger of life-threatening storm surge inundation along portions of the Gulf Coast of Florida from Aripeka to Indian Pass. Life-threatening storm surge is possible from south of Aripeka to Bonita Beach, including Tampa Bay and Charlotte Harbor. Impacts from storm surge, strong winds, and heavy rains are possible elsewhere in Florida and along the southeast coast of the United States from Georgia to North Carolina through the middle of next week, and interests in those areas should continue to monitor the progress of this system. Additional watches and warnings will likely be required tonight or on Sunday. So taking a look at our rainfall forecast, this has gotten a lot more concerning since yesterday's update. Looking at 1 to 2 inches of rain now across much of Virginia and the Delmarva, through the western Carolinas into central Georgia, 2 to 4 inches in the dark greens through central Georgia, west central areas of South Carolina, North Carolina, including Charlotte and Raleigh, North Carolina, and Hatteras, North Carolina, Orlando, Florida, and Miami, Florida. Looking at 4 to 6 inches of rain in this yellow shaded region across central areas of South Carolina and North Carolina and Georgia. And then going into these lighter orange shades, looking at 6 to 8 inches of rain in north central Florida, near Wilmington, North Carolina. But what's really concerning are these darker orange shades and especially these red shades these dark orange shades, going for about 8 to 12 inches of rain from northern Florida, southeast Georgia, and southeastern South Carolina, including Jacksonville. And if you live in Savannah and Charleston, you could be getting as much as 12 to 16 inches of rainfall. And we even have a little pocket of maroon, which could see 16 to 20 inches of rainfall. This could lead to some very dangerous to catastrophic flooding wherever this bullseye sets up. So I'm really going to be monitoring the trends on where Debby stalls, as we could be looking at a pretty dangerous flooding event somewhere across Georgia and South Carolina from Debby. And taking a look at the latest peak storm surge forecast, this has also increased dramatically from yesterday, looking at 2 to 4 or 3 to 5 feet of storm surge from Indian Pass through Akula River, 4 to 7 feet of storm surge from Akulia River down through Yankeetown, 3 to 5 feet of storm surge from Yankeetown through Arapeca, and then from Arapeca down through Tampa Bay and Bonita Beach, 2 to 4 feet of storm surge, and 1 to 3 feet of storm surge from Bonita Beach down through Card Sound Bridge, 1 to 2 feet of storm surge in dry Tortugas. So the storm surge has unfortunately increased across the Big Bend area of Florida due to this northwesterly shift in Tropical Storm Debby's track. So taking a look at our spaghetti model guidance, you can really see this in the spaghetti model guidance. Now we're looking at Debby passing about 100 to 200 miles west of Tampa in the next 24 hours and making a landfall between Apalachicola and the central area of the Big Bend in the next 48 hours, likely as a Category 1 hurricane in the next 72 hours through 120 hours. Debby is going to likely stall out somewhere across southeastern Georgia or south central South Carolina. And as I mentioned earlier, wherever this stalls out, we're going to be seeing a major flooding event, unfortunately, as a result of Debby stalling out. And then even in the next 120 to 168 hours or 5 to 7 days, we're still going to be having Debby move across areas of the Carolinas into Virginia, even the Delmarva. So make sure you're really monitoring Debby very closely if you live up and down the southeast and the mid-Atlantic coast. And taking a look at our intensity model guidance, we're looking at now a strong tropical storm in the next 24 to 46 hours, or 36 hours, making a landfall in the Big Bend of Florida, and then weakening to a weak tropical storm as Debby moves over land. If Debby moves back over the Atlantic, could be seeing some more minor intensification to a medium-grade tropical storm in the next 5 to 6 days. So if you live across northern Florida, southeastern Georgia, and southeastern South Carolina and southern North Carolina, make sure you're really monitoring Debby very closely, as we could be seeing a significant flooding event as a result of a stalling storm between Monday and Thursday. Thanks for watching this evening's update on Tropical Storm Debby. Please stay safe and have a wonderful evening, my friends.